First, the Progenitor, Maha Zoldyck. We begin at the very top of the lineage with the oldest living member of the Assassin dynasty. Maha Zoldyck represents the ancient history of the family, a figure shrouded almost entirely in silence and rumor. He first appears solely through reputation and a brief, silent cameo in the York New City arc, joining the family for a high-stakes contract. Maha is the grandfather of Zeno Zoldyck. He is an enhancer, which is rare for the Zoldyck bloodline, which typically produces transmuters or manipulators. His significance lies in his terrifying power ceiling. It is canonically stated that in his prime, he fought Isaac Netero, the chairman of the Hunter Association, and widely considered the strongest Nen user of his era. Netero was the only person to ever survive a fight with Maha. This single fact establishes the Zoldyck family not just as hired killers, but as combatants capable of rivaling the absolute peak of the Hunter world. While Maha does not take an active role in the current story arcs, his existence validates the family's untouchable status. He represents the raw accumulation of power that allows the Zoldicks to operate openly on Kukuroo Mountain without fear of government or Hunter Association intervention. Second, the explorer, Zigg Zoldyck. Zigg is a figure of deep lore, appearing not in the main timeline but in the flashbacks regarding the history of the Hunter Association and the Dark Continent. He is arguably the most mysterious link in the chain. Visuals from the Dark Continent Expedition arc reveal that Zigg accompanied a young Isaac Netero and Lin Hors d'oeuvre on an undocumented, unofficial voyage to the Dark Continent. Zigg's placement in the family tree is often debated, but he is generally accepted as being of Zeno's father's generation. His presence on the Dark Continent is critical because it explains the Zoldyck family's knowledge of Nanika, the entity possessing Alluka. It suggests that the Zoldicks have had contact with the calamitous threats of the outside world long before the main story began. Zigg represents the adventurous, reckless ambition of the family, a trait that seems to have skipped a generation before reappearing in Killua. Third, the dragon, Zeno Zoldyck. Zeno is the grandfather of Killua and the father of the current head, Silva. He first appears early in the series during the Zoldyck family arc, but his true capabilities are revealed during the York New City arc. Zeno is a transmuter who shapes his aura into dragons, a style that blends immense destructive power with high-level tactical utility. Zeno is a pragmatist. Unlike the younger generation, he views assassination strictly as a job. He holds no joy in killing, nor does he hold grudges. He simply fulfills contracts. This is best seen in the York New City arc when he and Silva are hired to kill Krallo Lucifer, the leader of the Phantom Troop. During this battle, Zeno demonstrates Dragon Head, transforming his aura into a guiding dragon to pin Krallo down. He is willing to sacrifice his own life to ensure the kill, ordering Silva to blast through him to kill Krallo. However, when the client who hired them dies mid-fight, Zeno immediately ceases hostilities. The contract is void. The killing stops. This defines his strictly business morality. His most massive impact comes during the Chimera Ant arc. Zeno is hired by Netero to facilitate the invasion of the royal palace. He utilizes Dragon Dive, a technique where a massive aura dragon shatters into hundreds of lethal shards of rain, bombarding the palace and creating the chaos necessary for the extermination team to infiltrate. This move inadvertently injures Komugi, changing the entire trajectory of the Ant King's character development. Zeno eventually recognizes Killua's growth, admitting that within the family, he is soft on his grandson, allowing Killua the freedom that Silva tries to restrict. Fourth, the Patriarch, Silva Zoldyck. Silva is the current head of the family, Killua's father, and a terrifying physical specimen. He appears early, looming over the narrative as the final authority on Kukuroo Mountain. Silva is an emitter and transmuter, fighting with explosive orbs of aura and immense physical strength. Silva's parenting philosophy is a mix of brutality and calculated freedom. He allows Killua to leave home early in the series, not out of kindness, but out of a twisted confidence that Killua is a Zoldyck to the core, and will eventually return of his own accord because he will tire of playing friends. In the York New City arc, Silva fights alongside Zeno against Krallo. He demonstrates high-level resilience, taking a poisoned knife cut from Krallo without flinching thanks to the family's immunity training. Later, in the Chimera Ant arc, Silva intervenes directly to save his father and grandfather. He drops from the sky to instantly crush Cheetu, a Chimera Ant squadron leader, killing him in a single blow. This scene reinforces the gap between a hunter and a Zoldyck assassin. Silva didn't fight Cheetu, he exterminated him. His relationship with Killua is the central conflict of his arc. Silva believes he has programmed Killua sufficiently, yet by the election arc, he realizes he has lost control. When Killua returns to free Alluka, Silva enforces strict containment protocols, showing that he fears the power of the Dark Continent more than he loves his children. 5th, the Matriarch, Kikyo Zoldyck. Kikyo is the mother of the 5 Zoldyck children. She originates from Meteor City, the junk wasteland that is home to many of the series' most dangerous outcasts. She appears early in the Zoldyck family arc, immediately establishing the twisted nature of maternal love in this household. Kikyo is a manipulator. Her appearance is striking. She wears a Victorian-style dress and an electronic visor over her eyes, the function of which is never fully explained, though it likely processes data or compensates for an injury. Her personality is unstable. She weeps uncontrollably when Killua injures her to escape, not out of pain, but out of delight that he is showing such assassin-like coldness. Her role is primarily that of the jailer. She keeps the children in line and oversees the torture training. In the election arc, she is the primary obstacle to Alluka's freedom, viewing Alluka strictly as a dangerous object that must be locked away. Her love is suffocating and violent. She orders the butlers to spy on and control her children, believing that total isolation is the only way to protect the family legacy. 6th, the Puppet Master, Illumi Zoldyck. Illumi is the eldest son. He is introduced during the Hunter exam arc disguised as Gitaraker, a horrific pinhead figure, before revealing his true face, a void of black eyes and emotionless features. Illumi is a manipulator who uses needles to control bodies, alter faces, and reprogram minds. Illumi is the dark reflection of Killua's potential. He believes that love equates to control. He planted a Nen needle in Killua's brain explicitly to force Killua to run away from stronger enemies, ensuring his survival at the cost of his courage and loyalty to friends. This needle is the primary psychological hurdle Killua faces for the first half of the series. In the York New City arc, Illumi assassinates the 10 Dons of the Mafia to fulfill a contract for the Phantom Troop, showing he operates on a global scale. However, his major antagonist role solidifies in the election arc. Illumi determines that Alluka's power is a threat to the family's survival. He decides that if he cannot control Alluka, he must kill her. He creates an army of needle people, civilians pierced by his needles, forced to march and fight until they die from exhaustion. He views Alluka not as a sibling, but as a tool. His twisted logic is that by controlling Killua, he can control Alluka's godlike power, effectively making himself the most powerful being in the world. He eventually joins the Phantom Troop in the Succession Contest arc, not for camaraderie, but likely to hunt his brother or protect the family interests, continuing his obsession with possession and control. 7th, the Hacker, Milluki Zoldyck. Milluki is the second eldest son. He is an obese, otaku-centric genius who defies the physical archetype of the family, but is essential to their operations. He appears in the Zoldyck family arc and the York New arc. While he is a capable assassin, having killed people and being proficient in torture, his primary domain is the digital world. Milluki is a manipulator. His specific combat abilities are rarely shown, but he is a tech wizard. He builds micro-bombs he can attach to mosquitoes and created the heavy yo-yos that become Killua's primary weapon. Milluki represents the banality of evil within the family. He treats assassination as a transaction to fund his figurine collection and computer habits. In the Greed Island arc, he is the one who deciphers the game's data for the family. He has a petty, antagonistic relationship with Killua, often being the target of Killua's physical bullying. But he fears his father and grandfather enough to stay in line. He is the only Zoldyck who seems content with his cage, using the family wealth to indulge his appetites without ever leaving his room. 8th, the Prodigy, Killua Zoldyck. Killua is the third son and the heir apparent. He is a transmuter with the ability to transform his aura into electricity. His journey is the spine of the Zoldyck narrative, the struggle to break the cycle of abuse. Introduced at the start of the series as a bored 12-year-old, Killua's arc is defined by two major physiological changes. First, the removal of Illumi's needle during the Chimera Ant arc. This moment allows him to stop fleeing from danger and unlocks his full potential. Second, the development of Godspeed, Kanmuru. By bypassing his nervous system and moving his body directly with electric aura, Killua achieves reaction speeds that transcend human limits. Killua's role in the family changes from prisoner to rebel, and finally to protector. In the election arc, he returns home not to fight his family for dominance, but to save his sibling, Alluka. He leverages the family's own rules against them, threatening to destroy his mother if they interfere. By the end of the anime, Killua has effectively divorced himself from the Zoldyck assassin trade, choosing to travel the world to protect Alluka, leaving the position of heir vacant. Ninth, the Calamity, Alluka Zoldyck. Alluka is the fourth child. While the family refers to Alluka as it, or uses male pronouns to distance themselves, Killua respectfully refers to Alluka as his sister. Alluka is the host of Nanika, a gaseous entity from the Dark Continent. Alluka is the most dangerous entity in the known world. She does not fight, she grants wishes. The mechanic is absolute but terrifying, the rule of 3. If a person fulfills 3 of Alluka's requests, which can range from pick me up to give me your liver, Nanika awakens. The user can then make one wish. Nanika can grant anything: teleportation, infinite wealth, or healing critical injuries. However, the cost is paid by the next person. The greater the wish, the harder the next 3 requests will be. If the next person refuses 4 times, they are crushed into a twisted pile of flesh instantly. Depending on the difficulty of the previous wish, this backlash can kill the refuser, their loved ones, and hundreds of people connected to them. Because of this, Silva locked Alluka in a vault deep within the mountain. In the election arc, Alluka is the central plot device. Killua reveals a secret rule. He can command Nanika without paying a price because Nanika loves him. He uses this. Power to heal gone. This revelation shakes the family foundation. Illumi wants to control this power, while Silva fears it. Alluka ends the series traveling with Killua, free for the first time, but carrying a power capable of wiping out humanity. 10th, the Spider, Kalluto Zoldyck. Kalluto is the youngest child. He appears initially as a silent observer alongside his mother, dressed in a feminine kimono. Kalluto is a manipulator who uses paper as a weapon. Kalluto joins the Phantom Troop, the Spiders, as member number 4, replacing Hisoka during the Greed Island arc. His motivation is distinct. He wants to get his brother back. While initially this seems to refer to Killua, the ambiguity suggests he might be trying to gain power to impress the family, or perhaps he is referring to a different sibling dynamic entirely. Kalluto's ability, Paper Dolls, allows him to overhear conversations and cut enemies with paper confetti that is harder than steel. Despite his talent, the Chimera Ant arc serves as a reality check for him. During the fight against the ants in Meteor City, Kalluto realizes that he is vastly inferior to the other Phantom Troop members in terms of combat experience and damage output. He represents the Zoldyck perfectionism. He is frustrated not because he is weak, but because he is not yet the absolute best. He is currently on the Black Whale ship in the manga's Succession Contest arc, still hunting for power and his elusive goals.